All right, welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be talking about something that's pretty vital to all of us, and that is blood types.
Yeah.
Now, we all know we have one, but really, how much do you know about it? What makes yours unique, what makes mine unique,
Right.
and how does it all really work? So we're going to be going deep on the science behind blood groups, how it's inherited, and why it all matters, especially in those, really critical medical situations.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to help us navigate this, we have an expert in hematology with us today.
It's me.
So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
I'm really excited to dig into this.
I'm excited to talk about it.
So let's just start with the basics. What are blood groups?
So, blood groups, think of them like personalized labels on your red blood cells.
Okay.
And these labels, they're called antigens, tell your body which blood cells belong to you. And the most important ones for compatibility are the ABO and ARGH systems.
Okay, so it's all about making sure that the right blood gets to the right person.
Yes.
And I remember learning about the different types, AB, and O. But why is matching them so important?
So it's super important because you want to avoid a potentially fatal immune reaction. So if you receive blood that's incompatible with yours, your body's defense system, your immune system, sees those unfamiliar antigens as invaders and attacks them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why it's so crucial to understand who can donate to whom.
So it's kind of like a lock and key system, right?
Exactly.
You need the right key to open the right lock. Can you maybe walk us through the different blood types
Sure.
and explain who they can donate to and receive from?
Absolutely. So let's start with blood type A.
Okay.
So blood type A has the A antigen, and it carries antibodies against the B antigen. So someone with type A blood can receive blood from either type A or type O,
Okay.
but can only donate to those with A or AB.
Okay, so A sticks with A,
Yeah,
or it gets a boost from the universal donor O.
exactly.
Now, what about type B?
So type B is similar, but the opposite.
Okay.
It has the B antigen and carries antibodies against the A antigen.
Uh-huh.
So they can receive from B or O and donate to B or AB.
Got it. And then, of course, there's the universal recipient AB.
Yes.
They can accept blood from anyone, right?
Yep.
That always seemed a little unfair
It does, doesn't it?
to the rest of us.
Yeah.
So why is that?
So that's because they have both A and B antigens, but no antibodies against either. So this means their immune system won't attack any incoming blood type. However, because they have both antigens, they can only donate to others with AB blood.
Oh, okay. So it's a little bit of a trade-off.
Yeah.
And that brings us to type O, the universal donor.
Yes.
No antigens, but they have both anti-A and anti-B antibodies.
Precisely. That's why they can donate to anyone, but can only receive from other type O individuals.
Right, so that's where that saying, O's are the givers, ABs are the takers, comes in handy.
It is a catchy way to remember the basics.
Very catchy. So we know that these blood types exist, but where do they come from? I mean, it's all about inheritance,
We
right?
got it. We inherit our blood type genes from our parents, but unlike some traits where it's like you get one from mom, one from dad, and that's it.
Right.
Blood type involves multiple alleles, meaning there are more than two options on the genetic menu.
Multiple alleles, that sounds complicated.
It's not as complicated as it sounds, I promise.
Okay.
So in the ABO system, we have the A, the B, and the I alleles, and everyone inherits two, one from each parent. Now, A and B are codominant, so if you inherit both, they're both expressed, resulting in blood type AB.
So it's kind of like they're both equally strong,
Exactly.
either one overshadowing the other.
Yes.
Now, what about that I allele?
So the I allele is recessive, meaning it only shows up if you inherit two copies of it, one from each parent, and that gives you blood type O.
Okay, so it's kind of like inheriting eye color, right?
Yes.
If you get a brown eye gene from one parent and a blue eye gene from the other, you'll likely have brown eyes because brown is dominant. You need two blue eye genes for blue eyes to show up.
That's a great analogy. It really helps illustrate how these different genetic combinations lead to the different blood types that we see.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Good.
Now, we can't forget about the other big player, which is the Rh factor. So what does it actually mean to be Rh positive or Rh negative?
Well, the Rh factor is another antigen that's found on red blood cells.
Okay.
And if you have it, you're Rh positive. If you don't, you're Rh negative. And this is important in many medical situations, especially during pregnancy.
Right. I've heard about Rh incompatibility
Yes.
during pregnancy. So what actually happens there?
So if an Rh negative mother is carrying an Rh positive baby, her immune system might see that baby's Rh factor as foreign and start producing antibodies against it.
Huh.
And this can be dangerous for the baby, especially in future pregnancies.
So it's like the mother's body is preparing to fight off an invader, but it's her own child.
That's a good way to put it.
So how do you work around that?
Thankfully, we have ROGAM injections,
Okay.
and those stop the mother's body from producing those harmful antibodies.
Oh, wow. That's an incredible medical advancement.
It
I mean,
is.
it's really amazing how science can intervene and protect both the mother and the baby. Now, does the Rh factor play a part outside of pregnancy at all?
Yes, it is a critical consideration in blood transfusions as well.
Okay.
So someone who is Rh negative should only receive Rh negative blood.
So if you need a transfusion, knowing both your ABO and your Rh type is really important.
It is.
So let's talk about what happens when we lose a lot of blood, like in an accident or during surgery.
Yes.
Why are transfusions so critical in those situations?
Well, blood loss can be life-threatening very quickly. Even losing 15 to 30% of your blood volume can lead to weakness, paleness. Over 30% can lead to severe shock, which can be fatal. So transfusions help replenish that lost blood and restore the body's ability to function.
And there are different types of transfusions, right? Like whole
Yes.
blood and packed red blood cells.
Yes, so we use whole blood transfusions when there's rapid, substantial blood loss.
Okay.
It contains all the components of blood, but sometimes we just need to focus on restoring oxygen carrying capacity, and that's when we use packed red blood cells,
Okay.
which are essentially whole blood with most of the plasma removed.
It's fascinating how they can separate,
It is.
blood into its different components like that.
It's pretty amazing.
Did you know that blood only has a shelf life of about 35 days when it's stored properly?
That's right.
So it's why continuous blood donation is so important.
It is.
Every donation can truly be a lifeline for somebody.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, let me ask you this. Now that you know maybe a little bit more about blood types, think about who could potentially benefit from your donation. If you were to donate today, knowing what you know about compatibility, whose life could you impact?
It's a really powerful thought, isn't it?
Yeah,
Blood transfusions are really a testament to our shared humanity, just a simple act that can save lives.
absolutely. Every donation is a gift. And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive on blood types and transfusions. So until next time, keep exploring. And remember, every deep dive is a journey into understanding. 75.